we have been investing all of our time this past weekend into none other than the Street Fighter 6 beta. And we got to start at the beginning, man. The email day. Everyone's looking, did I get an email? Did I not? The tweets were wild, man. Everybody was on the same page. Even after someone got an email, like a code or something. You know, I even seen you put a tweet up, like, which first off, you was like, yo, I haven't gotten the code yet. And the whole FGC was kind of a bit surprised. Like, I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then even after you got one, you're like, yo, hold out hope, everybody, hold out. You know, there's still hope for all the guys. We kind of were just all in it together. So it felt like the Willy Wonka golden ticket type of situation, bro. So the energy around the beta was amazing from the beginning.
So there was a bit of drama around the codes. I mean, some hearts were broken that they didn't get access to the closed beta. But, you know, the game will be out eventually into everyone's hands. The point of a beta is to test the technical limitations of, you know, the online infrastructure and all that, and collect some feedback. So they had to do it with a limited audience. But that said, there was a lot of buzz, a ton of excitement, because Street Fighter 6, it just feels like a breath of fresh air. The moment you opened up the game, I mean, before you even got into the actual Battle Hub, which was what the open beta was for, to test the Battle Hub online functionality, man, just the Street Fighter 6 logo popping on the screen, the announcer coming in, Street Fighter 6 with all the hype, you know, it felt immediately like it hits you. It has impact, you know? We're going to get into that in a little bit too, some drive impact. But man, once you get into the menus, you create your character, your custom creation wanders on screen.
The character creation,
people were getting real creative.
Itself was like, I was like, bro, what in the heck? What game did I just turn on?
Right.
Like, this a fighting game? You know, like, just the level of customizability. Even when we first saw on the trailers of Street Fighter 6 that there was gonna be some type of character creation and open world to it, I did not think you would be able to go that in depth. Like, you could change the jawline and all that type of stuff on there, the hair, the eyebrows, the accessories, the clothing. Even the fact that they got the little hub store for you to be able to buy shirts and all this type of stuff. And, you know, I just naturally think, like, imagine, you know, just if there could be some clothing sponsorship collaborations or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
If there's like a Uniqlo drop, you know, or that you could go and buy.
For
or like
sure. Or esports teams, you know, CLG in there maybe.
Teams.
Let's go. Yeah.
Go grab the COG hoodie from in the Street Fighter 6 store, man. Like, so that's really cool, the individuality of it. And then, as you said, the presentation is just out of this world. And I guess before I get to my overall conclusion, we can go some more details. But I gotta say, first and foremost, Drive Rush is one of the coolest mechanics in a fighting game. That is so sick.
The whole
combos
game,
you get off that.
The whole game, I've realized it's extremely clever. So imagine our first interaction with the game, Rob. We got to get our hands on it at EVO, of course. We're playing Street Fighter V 2.0 at that time, right? Because we don't know the mechanics yet. We don't know the frame rate. We don't know how the game is pieced together. So we're playing the bare bones without the drive system game. And, you know, the combos, the structure feels pretty similar. You know, a medium, light confirms into specials, a medium to a light jab link, you know, the basic stuff that we expect from Street Fighter V, essentially. But the more I've played the game, the more I've seen people, you know, brainstorm around the mechanics, the frame data, how it's all set up. I realize it's so clever how they intertwine the mechanics to allow for so many options without allowing it to be too chaotic and oppressive at the same time, right? The frame data is pretty light. Like, you know, there's not many plus frames on natural moves. Your natural combos without any kind of like punish, counter, or counter hit are mostly like chain jabs into specials. But there's so many modifiers that when you get a punish, you get more frame data. So your punish combos are completely different from your raw confirm combos. So it allows for more combo variety in that way. So you can get bigger damage when you punish something than if you're just like checking someone in neutral. But then also, you can spend all your meter on Drive Rush. Drive Rush completely modifies all your combo options. But then also, it's limited by your drive meter. So you can go ham all at once. But if you go too ham and you go into Burnout is almost a death sentence, right? So it's like, yeah, you're free to do whatever you want with all these mechanics. But there's a cost, right? So if you want to go ham, go ahead, but you might pay the price for it later. Or you think, okay, now's my time to strike. I'm going to burn it all right now. Here we go. Drive rush, extend everything as much as you can. And
push someone all the way to the corner off of it.
And maybe hope it kills. And if you didn't calculate right and they wake up and you're in burnout because you spent all your resources, you're going to be fighting a hard fight to maintain that lead. So it's a really creative system, I think, to allow for a wide variety of gameplay without making it too chaotic. Because Street Fighter, at the end of the day, is about the neutral, it's about the control. There's a certain speed, tempo, and flow that we expect from a Street Fighter game. But we also want the sauce, right? But we don't want it. We don't want to be swimming in the sauce 24/7. That's just gluttony.
See,
that's not this type of game.
That's why
Street Fighter 6
like
has balanced it perfectly.
Bro, we can have a situation where we don't have to all have the same meta in this game.
Of course.
Like, I really think that if we allow ourselves to not conform, because what happens is eventually once Street Fighter 6 comes out and we have tournaments, after that first major event or two and you see who's winning, like, then that's when everyone goes to copy. Whether it's the rest of the pro players go and copy the couple people who are performing well, then the rest of the community goes and follows. I really think that there's going to be multiple ways that you can go about expressing yourself in this game. I believe self-expression is the main part that I would bring up. Self-expression when it comes to actual in-game, what you do with your resource management, as far as your drive meter, but also, and just the way that you even use your CA meter. There's even self-expression in that. There's not just one CA, there's 3 different CAs. But even the whole what is it? Battle starting soon, or a fight is coming your way. That screen, the fact that you could customize that, the fact that you can customize your character, like it goes so in depth. I even like how you can have modern versus classic controls on each character, like on each individual character.
Dude, the
They've
settings
gone super in depth with
before
it.
the beta even went live. I was able to open the client and just look at the menus. I spent 2 hours looking at the menus in this game. If you have played Street Fighter in the past, the level of customization and settings that you can tweak and product quality in Street Fighter 6 will blow your mind. You have sound settings for every single aspect of the game. Clothing sound, footstep sounds. Like you can customize the sound settings to your perfect liking, whatever you want. If you want to use accessibility settings, for example, I looked at that heavily. You know, some people rely on audio cues. They might be more visually impaired. There's sound cues for light, medium, or heavy, sound cues for cross-up attacks, sound cues for each of the different drive mechanics. So there's just so many settings to customize. You have different controller presets.
I'm gonna turn drive impact all the way to hell up. That's
Listen for that one, of course. Yeah, it's actually not a bad idea. But yeah, the controller presets. There's you can have 5 different controller presets per player 1 and player 2 side, and per classic and modern controls. And there's a bunch of different controller options. There's even a 3-button modifier option for classic controls where you can hold it, and then the next button you press, it'll do it times 3. So if you hold the 3-button multiplier and press kicks, it'll give you 3 kicks. Hold the 3-button multiplier and press punches, it gives you 3 punches. So now instead of having to have 2 separate buttons, one for all 3 punches, one for all 3 kicks, you can use 1 button for that. And then you can have another free button to map to something else. So there's just so much customization that you can do. I think people are going to really experiment with more custom controller mappings, because there's a lot of creative options in there. And this is just the menus. I got excited just looking at the menus.
You can't talk about menus without bringing up the training mode, bro.
Break
down that
training.
What did you think? Training mode is busted on here, bro. I can't believe how amazing it is.
I think it's probably the greatest training mode I personally ever seen. I mean, for me personally, hands-on, by far the best training mode I've ever played. There are so many options in the training mode, and not only that, there's also simplified options. So the training mode provides, it hides nothing. You want to see all the frame data, all the recovery. There's a live bar there to show you exactly all the frame data options to quickly visualize what you're plus on, what you're minus on, understand the frame options. But there's also simple training scenarios to
you're talking about the
anti-air training, drive impact training.
So fire. Oh my God.
It does overload you with options. Even I was like, whoa, there's so many options here to mess with and tweak with. But there's also the funnel down, hey, if you just want to practice something right away, here's a drill right away to focus on. So it covers all the bases. One of the most interesting things I saw was the block counter option. There's options to say block X number of hits, and you can put any number of hits. So you can test the dummy blocking 5 hits in a row, test your string, and then have them do a reversal action after exactly 5 hits.
That's
or
so fire.
7 hits.
Bro, imagine how much that could help you with like teaching someone spacing
traps. Yes, it was impossible to do with Street Fighter V training mode. Like effectively.
You had to try to like super.
You had to record the dummy doing the
spacing
like a
trap.
Super
Yeah.
It was really weird. But they also have reversal. There's tons of reversal settings. There's reversal block, reversal wake up, reversal after taking damage. Testing resets was really difficult in Street Fighter V. Now it's going to be no problem. So you can test air resets, whatever resets. Like it's just all naturally built into the training mode. I feel like you can create any scenario you want easily and effectively with this training mode. So labbing is going to be next level in Street Fighter 6.
At this point, right, they have done a perfect job of balancing, having like I don't even like calling it balancing because I feel like I don't feel like either is giving up anything. The casual players are going to I'm not just casual. I'm talking about brand new players to the fighting games or to the Street Fighter genre. I mean the Street Fighter series. They are going to have a blast with the game. And then those of us who are hardcore, we are going to have an amazing time with the game. And the modern controls, I can tell you from me accidentally having because when you started up the beta, it automatically was on modern controls.
Right.
Any fears that we had of modern controls, let's dead them.
Yeah.
As far as tournament play and all that stuff. You know, I had and it was automatically set to Luke as well. So I had Luke with modern controls. And I'm trying to medium punch or something. I'm just getting a full-blown dragon punch. Like, his regular medium punch was a fireball. So if you just press triangle, it's a fireball.
Right.
If you press forward in like a medium punch, it's a DP.
Right.
You're not about to play in a serious tournament with that, at least at the highest, as an experienced tournament player. So, but it's going to do what it's supposed to do as far as getting new people, like newer players to understand the game and the concepts of Street Fighter and fighting games. So the balance right now is absolutely outside of this world. Just like you said, the training mode, something as simple. We won't use the anti-air practice. Maybe we should.
I might.
Maybe we should, for real.
I might.
Maybe we should, especially with a new character.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, you understand the concept that I'm getting at, though. It's like there's some stuff where for casual players, it's going to be even more helpful for them.
They don't hide the complexity of the game, but they also provide the avenues to funnel you into the next tier of understanding the deeper competitive mindset of the game.
Yes.
And I think the main thing here is that previously fighting games were just the fighting game. And that was a big jump from people to go from arcade mode fighting CPUs to fighting a real opponent who is beating your ass. You know, that's a big jump to make for people. Now there's so much more to do, and the biggest thing to me is the social aspect of the Battle Hub, which is what they introduced us to in the beta. Fighting games were a genre that was built around the arcades. It was built around being in a social environment, fighting side by side, head to head, being around people, putting your quarter up, waiting in line, talking smack to the person next to you, and forming connections with other people who then could share information, share knowledge, where you can learn by looking at other people. You can sit behind the cab and watch someone else play and be like, oh, what did they do there? How did they do that? This social environment is what made fighting games what it was at its core when it was found in the arcades. That was eliminated from like the 2009 era on, right? Like it slowly started being shifted to online, and the social features didn't really keep up. We did it ourselves with social media by doing the YouTube thing, the Twitch thing, right? By getting on all these platforms and trying to share information, but it hasn't been done in game. Battle Hub is doing it in game. You can just hang out in Battle Hub, make your horrendous custom character creation looks silly. You can spinning bird kick around the lobby. You can chat with people. You can spectate other people's games. You can go play an OG Street Fighter 2 Super Turbo and the classic arcade section, play Extreme Battle, play a funny version of the game, queue up for next year or there. It connects the players in a way that hasn't been done since 1992. Right, that was the last revolution of the social fighting game experience. Was 1992 when Street Fighter 2.
It felt weird even seeing Chris came to my stream and he wanted to play Chris T, and we go to join the same server. Like I go to his server and I physically see him there.
Right.
That is so. Right. That in itself is so.
Me and Kizzy had a whole discussion about the game, standing face to face, looking at our avatars. You know what I'm saying? We're in our own world. Like, yeah, it's silly, but that face to face in the game while we're on the call, it made it feel more connected.
It's way more. It feels way more connected.
As far as what we have right now, I mean, I'm already thrilled to see the social features. I think this is going to bring a lot of people together and bring new people into the scene, because we need these goofy modes. We need to have fun with the game. We need things to introduce people to the community at large. I feel like this is going to be the perfect opportunity to bridge the gap between the millions of people who purchase Street Fighter, millions,
Yep.
and bridge the gap between those players who pick up the game, play a little bit casually, and then drop it later on, and slowly incorporate them into the greater FGC at large, introduce them to new players, have them play people more their level, and slowly have them climb the ladder and become more confident and competent competitive players, and have them enjoy some competitive Street Fighter like we all do here on No Neutral and at the CPT and fans of the CPT, right? So I think Street Fighter 6 is taking all the right steps to bridge that gap without sacrificing any depth, any quality of the gameplay, because Street Fighter 6 is a complex beast. That's what this beta has proved. The mechanics of the gameplay, it's going to take a long time before we really figure this out, and at the same time we can all have a blast together. So I am thrilled to say that Street Fighter 6 beta was an absolute success. Very much looking forward to the next release of this game.
I personally believe this isn't, of course this is RobTV speaking for himself, nobody else. I think the bar for fighting games has
This
been
is the next
risen.
generation. This is the first
The
modern
bar has
game.
been risen. This is a new level. I have not seen a fighting game be this cool, bro. Like, when I think about me as a gamer, not as a fighting game fan, Rob, the gamer, before the FGC, this is something that would have piqued my interest, or piqued my friends' interest growing up, and even now, man. So Street Fighter 6, Capcom, everything, congrats. It seems like everyone, even from other fighting game communities, outside of just the Street Fighter scene, has been absolutely loving the game up to this point. And yeah, the Street Fighter 6 closed beta has been a success. Hopefully we get that open one soon.